Welcome to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
Hi, everybody. I'm spiritual medium and psychotherapist and author Kellee White. And welcome to Ask Me Anything today on May 14th, 2026. How's the energy, everybody? I want to know how you guys are doing. And so let me know how you're doing. But I'm going to say hi to a few people. I'm going to launch into the show. I want to talk about astrology. And then I want to talk about our subject tonight, which is really near and dear to me, to the work I do, which are signs from our loved ones. I think it's so important that everybody really understands that, what goes on the other side and how they are able to give us signs. So let me say hi to a few folks out there. Let's see. Hi, Leslie. She says, just love your show. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Hi, Melissa. How are you, honey? And you are talking about that when your dad, when you go to church, you can feel your mom and your dad, or you can feel your dad there. Isn't that great? Hi, Ralph. Yes, Ralph, I will be doing another show on dreams. I definitely will do that. And I will get a card for you, Ralph, too, when I come back to do cards. Hi, Sonia. You're having back surgery. I'll come back and get you a card, too. Okay. Hey, Renee. She says, I have chills on this show because it's about loved ones and spirits. And she said, my husband is in spirit, and he guided me last night to rewatch a reading that she had with me. Oh, my God. You validated incredible signs he gave me always. Thank you, Renee. I remember working with you when your husband had passed, and he had such a wonderful energy about him. He had wonderful energy, and he was kind, and he really wanted you to have like concrete signs. I remember that. I also just remember Hawaii. I just came right through. I just remember Hawaii there with him. Hi, Sasha. He says, thanks for inspiring us. Oh, you're so welcome to shine in your life. I want everybody to shine in their life. This is the time to shine. And I hope, to empower you, absolutely tap into your natural gifts. Oh, thank you, honey. I really appreciate it. Hi, Jean. Jean says, a couple weeks ago, I had an incredible remote Reiki session with Lori. Oh, Lori, shout out to our friend Lori. And both my parents showed up. They didn't say anything, but it left me with the impression that they are supporting me. Oh, Jean, I love this. And one of the signs when you have Reiki, what I've discovered is that loved ones come right through that. And also spirit guides too during a Reiki session. So, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, Jean. That is certainly a way to get a sign for sure. Oh, you're so sweet, Jane. Jane, I have so much love and appreciation for you too. Thank you. Mrs. Shai Pono, I will get you a card when I come back. Okay. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Kelly. Hi, everyone. More comfortable with the other side than I once was. Okay, Stacy, I'm thrilled to hear you say that. You do get that comfort. After a while, you've been on this journey, you understand how this works, and you do get a lot more comfortable with it. Then it's kind of fun. You see everybody else very uncomfortable with it. Like, oh no, your dead dad is standing right there. Not to worry. Really want to give somebody a heart attack. Hi, namaste. Hi, Laura Crum. How are you, honey? Hi, Lee. So good to see you. Hey, Marge and Angelite and Jackie Grace. Oh my God. And Margaret, I was thinking about you today. How are you doing? Oh my gosh. Hi, Luzette. So good to see you. Oh, it's so sweet. Hi, Marilyn. Carla. Hi, Carla. Hey, Kim Ann. I'm looking a wee bit blurry. Am I looking blurry to anybody? Let me get my camera. There you go. Let's see. And if am I still looking blurry? Let me know. I hope I'm not. Hope I'm not blurry. I have a new everything here. Oh, Marge, you did watch Remarkably Bright Creatures and loved it. I want to watch that too. I'm planning it. I thought it'd be fun he says I look good. Open chat. Thank you, Jared. I appreciate that, Jared, very much. I want to give everybody a card. So I shuffled these cards, the angel number cards, and I thought I'd give a card for everybody before I start on with the astrology. Okay. So let's see. The card for today for everybody, interesting, 1212 choices. We all have choices, and I want everybody to pay attention to the choices that come up, particularly as I get into the astrology. So we'll be talking about choices. That is a really good card to remember. All right. Thank you, Jared. You could take that one down. And I guess I could take this one down. Oh, there you go. I just took it down. Okay, let's talk about choices. Interesting. So currently, astrologically, there's so much going on. You know, I just came back from Texas. I was supposed to go last week for Grandmother's Day, and it got canceled or got moved. I couldn't get there in time. So I went for Mother's Day, and I was with my grandkids who are 6 and 9, and we went to an arcade for an awards ceremony. And somehow in said arcade, I must have picked up a bug. Shocking. I know. And the next day we went to a baseball game, a lot of more kids. And the next day we had Mother's Day with a lot of kids. And by Sunday, I did not feel very well. So I got sick. And I thought, this energy is so intense. The week before that, I fell and I got sick. I mean, what's going on here? Again, these are, I think, really rough energies. Now I'm fine now. And I actually ended up staying in Texas an extra day. And I got home and I was grateful to be home. And I was grateful to be home. I love my grandchildren. I love kids. And they carry a lot of germs. They're germy. And I live on a farm, not used to it. My immune system has got to get a little tougher. Anyway, but I say this because these energies are rough energies. So be good to yourself. Make good choices with how do you feel, what you're doing, where do you want to be? Because on May 16th, we have a super new moon. Now in Vedic astrology, it's in Taurus and it's in the nakshatra called Kritika. This super new moon is in between two full moons. And the second one on May 31st is a blue moon. So a rare moon. So this month brings lots of endings and beginnings. And it's a very large month for this. So this super new moon, and it's a new moon, it's an excellent time to consciously set your intentions for the future. Okay, be really conscious. Make wise choices going forward, because it's in Taurus, in using Vedic astrology, it has to do with stability and financial security and personal transformation. So have good consciousness in what kind of choices you will be making towards stability. If you have not had stability, getting stability. If you have not had financial security, what are some choices that you can make for that? And again, personal transformation. The theme pretty much for this year is going to be personal transformation. And this also emphasizes like practical, because Taurus is practical, grounded steps towards prosperity. And it's in this fiery nakshatra called Kritika, and that brings energy for a new beginning. So Kritika nakshatra is represented by a razor or fire, and it's for purification, and it cuts through illusions to help you reveal the truth of where you should be. So pay attention, because this is a fiery, independent energy, and it represents courageousness and taking initiatives that you may not have taken before, but always, again, wise choices. You make wise choices, but it brings new beginnings, even though the time energy will feel critical or it might feel intense. So again, this new moon, it's an intense new moon. So really set your intentions. And for this new moon, you want to purge and prune. That's what this is about. It's about like tidying up. I found myself recently, because I was sick in bed, unsubscribing to things, And that is typically what this new moon represents, like tidying up things. You know, you forget you have so much in your email. And in one of my email accounts, and I wish this was not true, I have over 200,000 emails. Yeah. It's something I just never check. It's an old email and I just have to get rid of it. And I just haven't had the time to just shut it down. It's funny how that works. But anyways, deleting old files. So Criticus has this knife, sharp like a knife energy, and it does help to refine you. So one of the things that you could do during this new moon, you could do a ritual where you like light, a candle, and you state what you are ready to transform. You could definitely do that. And go ahead, put your crystals out for clearing if you have any that you would like to do. That would be a good thing. So that's on the 16th. It's really funny. On the 16th and on the 17th, our Earth is always real close to that Death Star at Ghoul. And I can't help but laugh because my parents got married on the 16th and my dad's birthday was the 17th. I was like, I was doomed from the beginning. And then there go I. Okay. So on May 17th, the next day, all the way through October 8th, Saturn, which is the planet of karma, health, work, seriousness, it enters the final nakshatra. There are 27 nakshatras, or healing celestial houses, and it's the last nakshatra, and it is called Revati. And when it enters Revati, it's inside. Saturn is still in Pisces, and using Vedic astrology, it's through this 2.5-year journey, and it's been through Pisces. But when it enters Revati, it forces endings because it's the final nakshatra. So you may, I'm going to say from the 17th of May through the beginning of October, you may find things ending. You may find spiritual revelations, because in Revati, what it does is it releases illusions. So things that you thought maybe were accurate and were not, or things that you thought were true were not, or things that were illusionary were, it's exposed. And so some of the aspects of Saturn in Revati, it represents closure and liberation. So often when there's closure, there's freedom, there's that liberation, right? And it brings higher wisdom. And one of the things that I'm always talking about, it's my goal on earth, is to help people understand a shift in consciousness, to help them understand spiritual wisdom, because it's so important to our soul's growth on earth. This is why we come to such a hard school. And traumas, we can certainly grow from trauma. So Saturn in this nakshatra compels us to complete long-ending tasks, okay? To complete things, to dissolve outdated structures, and to embrace endings. And I know people don't sometimes like to embrace endings, but think of it as a cosmic ending. It's, okay, now I'm finished with this. Whether it's a relationships, a job, a home, something, there'll be endings. It also, because it's in Pisces and it's in the final nakshatra, it brings intense emotional work. So this period may feel, shocker, heavier, shocker, when people say, Kellee, is it going to get easier? Yeah, no, just keep going. It'll be fine. Keep going. It demands the release of attachment to material outcomes. So if you think, well, this is what I, envision, well, keep envisioning it, because a lot of amazing things will come out of this. And also, Revati, what it does is it gets us out of the material world of thinking, that limits us. The whole idea on Earth is to understand certainly the material world. Earth is duality. Understand it, but then be able to move on from that there's a higher wisdom. There's a higher goal here, okay? And so it makes us grow. This is really what I'm saying here. This next few months will make us grow. And because this occurs in Pisces, themes will be compassion, intuition, big one, and introspection. So going inward, right? And then when Saturn goes retrograde, which is on July 27th in this nakshatra, it will deepen the karmic review process, if you will. So this is a very powerful time that we are in and that we will continue to be in. But make some good choices, because that was the card I chose. Make some good choices for everybody. All right. Okay. So I am going to be talking now about, oh, and before I forget, I want to say hi, Michelle Kavanaugh, Snowy Owl Intuitive, every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Look her up on Facebook. She's amazing. She does meditations and she does card readings. Snowy Owl Intuitive. She's really, really, really good. I love you, Michelle. Go check out her website. Okay, so let's talk about signs from spirit, because I get this a lot. People will say, in fact, I had it this week, are they still with me? Are they trying to reach me? Am I just imagining this? And what I really want to say right away is you are not imagining it, but you may not always recognize when it happens. And I had an experience this week with a woman who came to see me, and her mother had passed, and she was really angry. She was angry because her mother passed. She was very angry. Now, I know I lost my mom and I was really pissed. I couldn't talk, and I had the best mediums in the world that wanted to talk to me about it. I couldn't hear a thing. I couldn't hear anything. I remember once I had a dream with my mom and I got angry. I was like so pissed because I realized she wasn't coming back. And I was just really, really angry. And I even saying it is amazing the emotions that I went through during that period. So this woman came to see me, and she didn't understand one of the signs. And one of the signs for her was the doorbell kept ringing over and over and over, and nobody was there. Nobody was there. And she said, everybody said it's a sign from my mom, but is it a sign from my mom? And I said, yeah, it's a sign from your mom. It's a sign from your mom. When spirit goes out of their way to try to get our attention with a doorbell ringing, I'm thinking, oh my God, please. But I understand the grief process too. Like a year from now, she might say, oh my God, what was I thinking? Of course, it was my mother. You can't, in the moment of grief, sometimes you just can't get there. And anyway, I just want everybody to know. And I'm curious if you can, I'm going to talk about a lot of the signs tonight. And if you've had any experiences, I'd love to hear them. So, send me some comments here, because I will love to read them, and we can go from there. But I want to explain something really important, that spirit does not communicate the way we do here. And in fact, this woman was a perfect example of that. Well, how come my mother doesn't talk to me this way? Or how come, you're not hearing it exactly? As a medium, we do not hear it exactly. We feel it, we see it, we get words, we get this. Do the best I can to put it all together. But it's like listening to somebody underwater. And it takes a lot of work and practice and meditation to get as close as I do to receiving the messages that I do receive. And again, if you are in a place of grief or anger or trauma, probably not the best time to see a medium. Probably best to see a therapist, frankly. But anyway, spirit doesn't communicate the way that we do here. And they don't use words in the same structured way. But they do communicate through energy for sure. And yes, Reiki, that's great, Lori. Shout out to you, because that is, Reiki is a wonderful way where our loved ones can come through, and spirit guides too. But also they communicate through feeling. All of a sudden you just might have this feeling about them. They can communicate through symbolism. They can communicate through repetition. So when people are waiting for something obvious or loud, they often miss what's actually happening. Like, I'm going to go with the doorbell again. The doorbell is ringing. Can you imagine that soul on that side? You're like, oh Lord, because spirit is subtle, but it is consistent. Okay. So here's one of the ways, and I have like probably 8, 9 ways of signs that you can look for. And one is repeating numbers. Now, I often use repeating numbers as the signs that we are in a spiritual awakening. Like that was programmed into our system before we incarnated, that we would look for certain numbers. 111, oh, it means something. 222, it means something. But let's say your father loved Las Vegas and his numbers were 777, and you start seeing 777. That's your dad. Okay. That's how that works. Or let's say your favorite number, your mother's favorite number was, 683. There you go. Let's say your favorite numbers were, 327. And it meant something to somebody. So you always have to view this in reference to, what does it mean to me? So seeing their numbers over and over, I think is a great way that spirit does get our attention. And that could be on a license plate, especially in Los Angeles when I would drive all the time. Here, I really don't see license plates because I don't drive that much. And the only thing that gets in my way is a tractor. And I let the tractor just do its thing. And I kind of watch. And it's very fascinating to me. Not to change the subject. But anyway, so numbers on license plates, numbers on billboards, numbers on a coffee cup. I mean, it could be anything. Now, another way that spirit gets to us is through dreams that feel real. And not all dreams are the same. And some dreams do feel different. Some are more vivid. Some are more emotional. And some are more real. And these are visitation dreams. So you don't just see them, you feel them. Now, I want to say something about dreams. If your loved one, like I'll give you an example. My father was a musician. And so he comes to me through songs. He's come to me through dreams. And one dream, and I wrote about this in my book, but it's worth talking about, because he was a musician. He was the funniest person in the world. And he had the best sense of humor. He was quite complicated, but all the comedians would go to him because he was that guy. He was so bright and funny. So I had a dream after he passed away. Now, he never, I'll tell you what he respected about me was that I was a good cook. Okay. I think he missed a lot of the things, but that's what he was. And he loved me. I'm not, it wasn't anything negative, but this dream was amazing to me. We were in our old house where I grew up, and I was doing readings there. And there's a long line of people waiting to get in to see me doing readings in my home where I grew up. And there was a knock, knock, knock on the door. Literally it was knock, knock, knock. And I said, that's odd. And I opened the door, and there was my father. And he was playing the song, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door. Okay. Now my dad he was a jazz guy. So that was the sense of humor, but knocking on heaven's door. And it showed me that he understood what I was doing now. And he was proud of me. And he did give me a big hug. And then he turned around like normal and left. Elvis left. So dreams that feel real. But if your father is, was a lawyer, he may come to you with law books. Or if he was, anything that was often the profession or something that you did together. If you two fished together, I don't care if you went boating together, if you camped together, if you grilled together, I don't know, things that you do. I didn't have a dad that did a lot of things with me. So I'm trying to think outside of the box here, but any of the things, or a parent or a loved one or a spouse, something like that. And that whatever they would mean something to you, that would be the dream. So always pay attention to that. Those are not process dreams. Those are real visitation. And I have had people say to me, well, I had a dream about my mother, and, and they don't believe it. Like they just, I don't know why many people just can't connect to that. Maybe I don't know what the fear is of believing that. I don't know. A third way that we have signs from our loved ones. And by the way, let me just reiterate this. Our loved ones are always present. If you're thinking of them, they're around. If you're thinking of them, they're around. So objects will move or disappear and then reappear. They will have been moved somewhere, misplaced, or show up unexpectedly. I cannot tell you how many clients have had this happen, where they will put their wedding ring down and they swear it's there, and they turn around and it's right where the husband slept on his side of the bed in a little ring cup. And I remember this woman said to me, how did it possibly get there? He moved it. He moved it. Can they do that? Yes, they can. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know how the energy works to do that. I am the least engineering type of person that could ever figure anything out. So I really don't know. I just know that it happens, and it happens a lot. I had somebody tell me that they had lost a bracelet the bracelet was in the front of the car, and somehow it slipped out the back of the car. And then somebody picked it up. It was a little kid picked it up, like a 5-year-old picked it up in the back seat of the car. And the child said, "Oh, this is from Ted." And what made the child say this is from Ted? That was her husband. It wasn't and so that was a sign. That was a sign. Okay. So again, it can be small things or it can be large things. And it can be a feather can be a sign. Whenever I personally see a feather, I always think of my spirit guides, but it can certainly be a loved one. Always. Okay. It can be a coin. Let's say somebody was a coin collector. As you may have heard this story, James's sister passed away, and she wrote a book on dimes. And when she died, suddenly in my bathroom, there was a dime. And I called James and I said, "You're not going to believe this, but Lynn put a dime here. There's a dime in my bathroom. It just showed up." I asked the housekeeper, "How did this get here?" She said, "I have no idea. I didn't nobody would put a dime there." That was a strange thing. But coins, let's say penny for your thoughts, sometimes a lot of pennies, those kind of things happen, but something that will remind you of them. Okay. So it's not necessarily about the object. It's about the timing and the meaning. Now here's another one: electrical disturbances, lights flickering. Yes. And the answer is yes, it's them. Lights are flickering. When Don and I were talking about my mom and his sister, both had passed, we were in the kitchen. I'll never forget this. And we look up and we could not believe it. The lights were just flickering. And then they stopped, just like that. I was just the greatest. It was just great, And I'll tell a story too, that years ago, Don lost a good friend out here who had died. And he died in an odd plane accident. He built a plane, it went up, and he died. And nobody knew that he had died. But Don's mother was home, and the phone rang, and his mother and his sister Marie answered the phone, and they said hello. And instead, the answer went to the message machine. In those days, we had those voice recorders, record your message. And a message went out from his friend, and he said, "I didn't mean to do it. Please tell Don I didn't mean to do it." And that was recorded on the machine. And then they found out he died. So how does this work? Energy. I don't know, but it does work. Spirit works with energy, and electricity is energy. Okay. Now, another way is you can have sudden emotional waves. And you feel them out of nowhere. And I know all of you have had this one. If you've had loss, you feel that wave that comes through you. And I literally will say, "Oh my God, that's so-and-so." Because I also have had a lot of loss. And I can certainly feel the energy of whoever it was. I had one of my dearest friends died when I was 27. I just had holiday, and she passed away 1 week after I had my daughter. And in a car accident. And this very week, I couldn't get her off my mind. And I could feel this wave coming through. That was years and years ago. And I just was like, "Oh, Nancy, how are you doing?" I could just feel her, and just a big smile and love. But it's that energy that goes right through you. And it's not sadness necessarily at all. It's a presence. Okay. Doesn't have to be sadness. It's a feeling that says, I'm not alone right now. There's somebody with me. And if you really tune in, you know who it is. You know the energy of your mother. You know the energy of your spouse. You know the energy of your child. You know that energy. And when I work with parents who've lost children, the funniest things will happen because these kids are so bright and funny, and they'll move their toys over to here. They'll put a Christmas ornament on the tree. They'll do all kinds of things. They'll splatter cookies all over the place. They do all kinds of things, it's to get everybody's attention. So another way is songs, and songs are huge. When my mother was dying, she wanted my father to be there. And they'd been divorced for 50 years, and yet she wanted him to be there to come and get her when she died. And I said, all right. So I got into my car and I got on the 405 freeway in the middle of traffic. And I said, Dad, no matter what you do, you got to be there for Mom. I've never asked you for anything. I need you to be there. And then my radio went on, my Sirius radio. And my dad was a musician. And one of the songs that he did was a song called Windy. And it just popped on the radio. Just like that. And I said, that's the song you chose? No, I don't think he liked that song, but it popped on. And I was so happy about that. So I knew he would be there. My dad has worked harder on that side than he did on this side. And some of you might know people like that you've lost. All right. And sense, you will smell their sense. That all of a sudden you'll get that cigar, or you'll get that perfume, or you'll get that flower essence, or you might get that spaghetti smell. It depends on what it was that brought you comfort from somebody, or what they may have been well known for, And so a scent you can associate then with, oh my gosh, that's it. Because those are really powerful memories, because they connect directly to a memory. So another way, of course, are animals or symbols. So animals could be, let's say your mother loved panda bears. Let's say your best friend loved panda bears. Whoever your best friend is, they loved octopus. Whatever it happens to be, all of a sudden you start seeing that over and over and over. That's your friend telling you. That's your mom telling you. Whatever it is. And it's not random. It's specific. It would be specific to you, and it would bring meaning to you. Now, here's another thing that I think is really important, and always know this one. This happened to a very dear friend of mine today. And I said to her, can I tell this story? Because it was such a good one. She said, absolutely. She's got two really good stories for this. She was planning a trip, and she was leaving on a plane yesterday, and she decided to use a suitcase she hadn't used in a while. And so she opens up the suitcase. She hadn't used it for about, a couple of years. Her best friend had died in the end of October. Her best friend died. And so she had not used the suitcase in at least 2 years. She opens up the suitcase to pack. I'm getting chills as I'm telling the story. And in the suitcase was a card to her, telling her how much she had loved her, how much she loves her, how much they'll always be together. They'll always be very good friends, best friends, all of this. And that was in the letter that was in the suitcase that she hadn't opened in 2 years. And that was a huge sign, huge. So please know, if you find a note from somebody that you love, and, a note pops out, a birthday card. It happens often towards birthdays, and it often happens towards anniversaries. And it could also be a note. And here's another thing that happened, which I thought was really interesting. Another friend on Valentine's Day had this odd feeling. Her husband had died, and she decided she was on Valentine's Day. She kept getting this message like, just move the dish. There was a dish in the kitchen. Just move the dish and move it over there. And she just got kind of tired. She said, well, all right. So she goes to move this dish. And in the dish was a love note from her husband, who had passed away at least 5 years ago. before this. So that. And then another story, which was, I love this story. Dear friend, his husband passed. Years went by and she met a second love of her life, which can happen. Okay. You can have more than one love of your life. And in this case, she had a second love of her life later in life. And they had not talked about marriage, but they'd been thinking about it. But each individually had been thinking about marriage, but they hadn't talked about it yet, really. And they were on a trip. And the boyfriend at the time looked down and he said, "Oh, that's so odd." And he picked up, there was a gold ring there, literally a gold band. Found the gold band and he said, "Look what I just found." And then they cleaned it up and it was a beautiful gold band. And on the inside of it was her husband who had died's name with a date on it that was her birthday. So think about that one for a second. They shortly got married after that. That was a real sign to go ahead and get married. And he was actually like making sure that happened because he loved her and he wanted to make sure I got chills when I tell that story. So those are some really great ways that you can think of that spirit has absolutely given you some signs. Okay. And people get stuck and they experience these things and they might think that's a coincidence. That's nothing. That's just me. But your first reaction is usually the truth. And that second reaction is doubt. So pay attention. All right. So just remember a few things here. Shirley and I are offering a mind and soul session together, Dr. Shirley. So it's a 90-minute session. If you would like to have a session with the two of us, or if you know, if there's a company out there that wants to hire us to do that for them, let us know. Go to psychandthesoul.com and you can find all the information out there. I'm offering spiritual coaching now, which is very helpful for a lot of people. If you're stuck, let me help move you along. I'll help you with that. I also have a Starseed class with Janelle Campbell. I'm so excited about this. It is May 22nd in the United States, May 23rd in Australia. She's from Australia. We're really excited. This is going to be an intuitive, connecting class. If you don't feel like you are fit in the normal mode, if you're not normal, take this class because it's all about star seeds. And we're going to be talking about star systems and galaxies. And it's very important because she's going to be doing a channeling. And I have to tell you, Janelle is one of the world's great channelers, and she's going to be channeling the intergalactic realm for messages for us. And she's also going to be doing a great meditation to help get you in touch with the Starseed Foundation, where many people come from. So please keep an eye out for that. That's, again, a week from this Friday, May 22nd in the United States. And I think it's at 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. Okay. So it's on a Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And if you can't join us live, once you sign up for the class, we will email you once it's finished. I have another class on June 27th with Dr. Shirley, and we're going to be teaching a live Zoom class. And it's really, why do people act the way they do? And it's going to be about understanding personality patterns, personality disorders. We're going to be talking about the borderlines, the narcissists, the sociopaths, and how you get triggered, and then how to set boundaries. So it'll be really one of these very helpful classes to help you understand what the emotional triggers are, how to create healthy boundaries without guilt or confusion or burnout. So if you've ever experienced, any of this that I'm talking about with a personality disorder, where you feel drained or confused, or you're walking on eggshells, which is a seminal topic for that. The person who wrote Walking on Eggshells was from Racine, Wisconsin. I don't know how far that is from me. It's probably far, but it's in Wisconsin. I thought, how interesting is that? Anyway, let's go ahead and talk. Let me see some of the comments here, and I'll get you some cards here too. Actually, you know what? I should actually start looking at these cards because I promised everybody I would get as many cards as I can do. All right, Ralph, here's a card for you. Okay. Ooh, 1031, passion. Yours is about passion. So look, whatever your passion is, set the intention for that. Okay, I think that would be really good. Okay, Sonia, you are having back surgery. Let's get you a card. Okay, this is a good one for that. 202, perseverance. It's funny. The word of the day for me today was perseverance. So that persevere. Keep going, Sonia. It's all going to be good. It's all going to be good there. I think that's very important to remember that. Mrs. Shipono, here you go. 222. You're in perfect alignment. 222. Now that'd be a number to look out for. That would be a good one. I think that's super good card right there. I love that. And Margaret, am I still a wee bit blurry and you're not drinking? That's good. I am happy about that. That's a good one. Yes, Crystal Cook from New Zealand. Let's get you one. Ooh, 1414. Adventure. I think, Crystal, you're going to have an adventure here. Be open to that. So Amber says, Kellee, been feeling tired this week with energy. I forgot to ask you last week about crystals. I heard you were only supposed to wear the crystal bracelets on the left wrist. I think you wear them, Amber, wherever you are comfortable. Okay? Wherever. It doesn't have to be left. Doesn't have to be right. It can be what makes you you. Just do it. Do you remember it used to be if you wear an earring in this ear and an earring in that way? Oh, ridiculous. Just do you be you. Okay? I think that's important. Hey, Carol. Hi, Jen. It's your birthday today. Jen, happy birthday, honey. Really, happy birthday. Oh, my God, 272. Jen, you're going to love this. Have confidence. The angels and all your loved ones are with you. That is a sign from your husband. Okay? In fact, you know what? I got chills. He wants you to have all the confidence that you can muster up. Jen, I'm going to give you, since it's your birthday too, I'm going to give you a card from Talking to Heaven. Let me shuffle these up a bit. Hold on a minute. Haven't used these for a while. Let's see here. From your husband, you have nothing to feel guilty about. Okay, there, they'll take that. Nothing to feel guilty about, and go forth. Keep going. Okay, keep going. I thought about our friend Vicky, who had passed away. It was a year ago Monday. Could not believe that it was a year. Hey, Jamie Lynn. Oh, could I pull one of the cards for your puppy? Yes. She might need surgery on her hips. Oh, Jamie, hold on. Yes. Ooh, 88. A reward. Maybe the reward is no surgery. Maybe that's the reward there. I think that's a good one. Oh, thank you, Patricia. I appreciate that. Wendy says, Kellee, hope all is well. I need your podcast tonight so I can confirm things that happened to me. I appreciate that. Hey, Lori, I'm good. I am good. Does my cat Samson, who crossed over, have a message for me? Well, let's see there. Lori, let's see. Well, he does say this. He must be a talker. You are never alone. You are never alone. I would tell you, sometimes the animals speak louder than the people. Sometimes they are just yackers, right? I mean, yackers. Angel light, absolutely. Let's get you a card here. Okay, 1321, awareness. So be aware. Be aware. I think the angels are talking tonight. Be aware. Just, pay attention. Hey, Darlene. Hey, Terry. Okay, Jerry says, hey, Jerry, Kellee, I've been recently diagnosed with RA, and my mom had severe RA and died from complications. Does she have any messages or signs for me? Well, let's see here. Hold on a second. First of all, I'm sorry, Jerry. Hold on. Does this make any sense? It is not your fault. Is that not your fault? I'm not sure how that has to do. Severe RA often will have a connection to anger, honey. Is there a lot of anger anywhere around? I would just look at it, okay? Just look at that. Hi, Patty. Hey, Megan. Oh, Megan from Australia. Hi there. Hi, Laura. Oh, Laura getting together with cousins for ashes ceremony of relatives. Oh, Laura, that's sweet. That's wonderful, honey. Oh, thank you. Love Rule says, Kellee, I ordered your book, Awaiting a Great Read. Thank you. I had a wonderful me day. Good for you. Okay, Carol says, I was adopted, so my bio mom didn't want me. My adopted parents, my dad hated me, and my mom didn't really like me, as I couldn't have dad to stop cheating. So I don't have any family that cares about me on the other side. Carol, it's really interesting. On the other side, they learn a lot because they have to do what's called a life review. Nobody escapes a life review. Everybody has to do a life review. And so they would have looked at that. I don't know what the karmic setup was to be adopted into this family. What have you learned? I mean, it'd be an interesting subject with you. What have you learned through all of it? People are hard, and I don't know why the family was so challenging, but doesn't mean that they don't care. Often, what I found out from me is that my dad, who was a challenge here on earth, big challenge, he helps me a tremendous amount. And I'm always amazed. So Jackie says, my BFF Luzette and her husband Robert, who's in spirit, were in 3 dream visits last night. Super positive. Wow, Jackie. I remember when I did a reading, or 2 readings even, for Luzette, and her husband was, what a powerhouse, what a spiritual powerhouse. And he came through 3 dream visits last night. That's amazing. Then he is super, oh, I got chills. He's super active. When they start coming through like that, especially if they were deeply spiritual and they were teachers, and he was a teacher. I mean, that's amazing. That is amazing. I'm so glad to hear that. And Margaret, very rough energies, whoosh, big time. I can feel it. Yeah, a lot of intensis. Yeah, Ralph, I would agree. The Texas air was not that great. I would have to agree with that. Okay. Okay. Metal to your northwest corner in feng shui. That's a good one. That is good to know. Wow. I'm so sad. I'm so sorry. KW says, I was out hiking. I'm excited I got here in time to watch. I wonder if my stepdad watches over me. Well, let's get a card. First of all, the answer is yes. I just got to chill on that. Oh, he's surrounded by dogs. He's surrounded by his animals. He must love those animals. Surrounded by those animals. Oh, I love that. Okay. Olive leaf for immune system has worked great for us. Oh, that's great for travel. And germy situations. Oh, that's so good. Patty says, Kellee, my husband's still hanging on, but this month, Monday, my sister informed me that she has cancer. I don't know how much I can deal with, Patty. That's a lot, Patty. That's a lot. All of that's a lot. It's a lot to handle. Sometimes we get in the pressure cooker, and then we get out of the pressure cooker. Sometimes it's, what do they say? Your turn in the barrel. A lot of people I know are in that pressure cooker right now. It's really true. You never know what somebody's really going through. I'm really fortunate because I get to hear a lot of the stories of what people are going through, and we go through them Yeah. And our soul learns an awful lot: empathy, compassion, how to handle things, how to handle stress, how to handle things one moment at a time. Spend some time in nature, Patty. Those elementals are out there working. So go out there and enjoy some sunshine. Hi, Dee from Chicago. Charlotte is doing okay. She's not doing great. And it's not because I don't have a lot of love and support. I do with her. And I think you, Michelle, and Judy, and anybody who's been sending Reiki to her, I so appreciate, and the energy and the love. She's just having a harder time. She just is. So she's heavily medicated. So she's not in any pain. I will not tolerate her in being in any pain. Not my baby. No way. Not going to happen. Hi, Elizabeth Preston. How are you, my friend? Hi, Kellan from Australia. Okay. Well, let's get you a card. I hope you get to take that class with us, Kellan from Australia, with Janelle Campbell. She was Spiritual Teacher of the Year, by the way, and she deserved it. Ooh, this is fun. 3939, playfulness. So have some fun, Kellan. I love that name, Kellan. I was Kelly Jo. I would have loved Kellyanne, but I got Joe. And I got used to it. Hi, Joanne. Oh my God. Hey, darling. Good to see you. Thank you so much. I haven't seen you for a while. Hey, Brad Phillips. Okay, Brad. Now you want to talk about a great musician. Go to Brad Phillips Music. I mean, extraordinary musician. Unbelievable violin. Great actor, but fabulous musician. He plays with Patti LuPone. He's everybody. Jeff Daniels, look him up. Brad Phillips. He's amazing. Really amazing. Okay. Ooh, Brad? Now this is interesting. 510, rebellion. Are you in your rebellion phase right now? I'm just curious. Are you in your rebellion phase? That is interesting. And he's such a good dad too. Rebellion phase. Interesting. I wonder what that means. Okay. Thought Saturn was a little kooky. No, Wendy, Saturn has no kook to it. No, a lot of planets have some kook. Saturn is no fun, no drama. It just is what it is. Saturn. No, it means responsibility and karma. Yeah, no kook to it. There you go. There you go. Laura, hi, Laura. Choices to allow one's mud to settle. Okay, so before action, so that clarity allows awareness. Patience among chaos allows a natural flow to a needed movement when accorded. Sometimes one inflames chaos by the hasty, impulsive choices one makes instead of waiting till the mud settles in one's life to take action with awareness. I couldn't have said it better myself, Laura. I was talking with Laura the other day and she said, and the guides kept telling me the word mud. I said, what does the word mud mean to you? Because it just kept coming, mud, mud, mud. That's such an unusual word. What does it mean? And she said, I always say that the mud has to settle before there's an awareness, like it has to settle. And I thought that is so brilliant. The mud has to settle before there's an awareness. So thanks for reminding me of that. Okay, Ann Margaret says, I'm tired of growing. No more fertilizer. I'm exhausted. Oh, Ann Margaret, seriously, that's very funny. I'm doing my garden this week. Yes, and of course, unless it rains. I'm doing my garden because where I live, everybody else already has, their plants have already come up. Yeah, not me. No, they haven't even gone in the ground. They've been in the garage and outside. In the garage and outside. We have trees in the garage that finally got planted today, because it was too windy or nothing was right to do it. So I'm planting my garden and I'll be thinking of the fertilizer and I'll be thinking about you, Ann Margaret, because that's what I'm going to do. So hey, Jen Tran, how are you doing? Okay, I'm going to get you a card. Jen, this totally fits you. 1010, faith, have faith. Jen, that's why you're alive. Faith. Some of us will have lives that are faith-based because we will be tested. Okay, Candy says, hi, Candy. Yesterday, my dad was messing with me with his car. He didn't want me to take it to the chiropractor. I took another car. Then after my doctor appointment, I got in the elevator to go down. I said out loud, well, Dad, now to mess with your car. The elevator doors opened. Are they closed? Then the elevator started going up and down, about 10 inches up and down. What does he want? How do I connect? Well, he's trying to get your attention, Candy. You would know what he's wanting. Is there something he wants you to do? Is he just a playful guy? Is he just having fun saying, hey, I'm right here, babe. I'm right here. And that is, how do you connect? You just do. You acknowledged him. Dad? Oh, yeah. You can tell a certain person's energy. And your dad must be a lot of fun. Must be a lot of fun. Yes, Michelle is amazing. I agree, Laura. Okay. No, don't, Ann Margaret, don't Google Snowy Owl Intuitive. Go to Facebook, Snowy Owl Intuitive. Go to Facebook. That's where you find it. Okay. So Margie says, so if you are Pisces, will Saturn affect you more because it's in your sign? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it will. Yeah. Yes, it will. Hey, Evie says, last night I was woken up by sounds in the room, which I recognized. Now that's another way, you guys, sounds. All of a sudden you might hear your name or you might hear something. Yeah, sounds are a big one. I forgot to mention that. Thanks. I woke up with sounds in the room, which I recognized spirits visiting me as it happened before months ago. I got nervous and prayed whoever it would leave. So Evie, ask who it is, or, you always want to, in that kind of a case, if you're feeling uncomfortable, I only want the highest of souls. I only want Jesus in the room. I only want my dad in the room. Go ahead. You can start demanding. It works. Okay. Oh, hey, Katja. I love that. Yes, you can get a card. Let's get you a card there, Katja. Here we go. 666. Reflect. 666 is not a bad number. Actually, it means peace and balance. And it means to reflect on your life. It means to reflect on your life. So that's actually a very good one. Hi, Nadine. Oh, how are you, my friend from Vienna? Let me get you a card. This is a good one for you, Nadine. 11111, manifestation. That's a good one for you, Nadine. You're a very special soul. Hey, Patty. I have about 5 or 6 lights hanging over my desk from the ceiling. When a spirit comes, just the one light on the far right will start blinking. I will ask and go through several names, who it is, while I'm asking it stops blinking. When I say the name of the person who is reaching out to me, it will blink again. I treasure when that happens. Okay, Patty. And thank you for sharing that. So you're really working with spirit when that happens because you pay attention. That's all you have to do is pay attention. That's all spirit wants is to pay attention. But also you reminded me, Patty, because you're an excellent. You get those orbs in your pictures. Look in your pictures. I had a mother who lost her son. And if I didn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. When after her son died, I can't remember how long had been passed. Maybe it wasn't that long, just a small amount of time. And she was in the kitchen and she heard her son say to her, he had passed, he was 25 years old. And he said, take a selfie. And she was like, take a selfie? What are you talking? What? Take a selfie. You start to think you're losing your mind. Take a selfie. So she's like, okay. So she turns the camera around. She's not a selfie person whatsoever. Takes a selfie. Wait for it. Her son appeared in the picture. And I saw it. It was extraordinary. So they work with us. All you have to do is pay attention. I think it's really important. Oh, good. Laura Crum put Facebook into Snowy Owl in there. That's good. Okay, Avi, you smelled perfume, and that's what you thought. You're not sure what it was, and I'm not sure who it is either. But keep trying to figure it out. Wendy says, "Mom was always so difficult." I've heard a lot of those moms out there. But at the end of her life with dementia, she explained it all. I was not angry because I know she wanted to see my sister. I just miss her so. Oh, Wendy, I love that. I understand. And Margaret says, signs. I asked my dad for a sign one night that was clear as a bell, as he didn't come through for 20 years. I don't mean to laugh, but that's very funny. So I got 5 knocks at 4 a.m. loud. I was so scared I called the cops. I was so scared I called the cops. They came. It was light snowfall, and they said no steps outside, it would be in snow. So he proved he was around. I jumped out of bed. Knocks on the wood were so loud. Wood was in the house. The front door was metal. So I asked him next night, thank you, please, no more knocks. And he yelled my name loud while I slept. Okay, Margaret, only that would be you. That would totally be you. And it had to happen that way. I'm sure he was quite something. Oh my God, that is so funny. Okay, yes, Ralph, eagle and a pileated woodpecker on the same tree after my mom passed. Incredibly comforting. Okay, let me just say that. Thank you for that. Okay, eagles, for sure. Birds are huge when your loved one dies. Huge. Oh my gosh. Eagles, hawks, woodpeckers, hummingbirds, big one. Okay. Brad says, I'm staying at a relative of yours. Oh, I think I know which relative of mine. Next week or the week for a few days. The creek down the hill sounded like it was trying to talk to me earlier today. So I know where you are, honey. I love that place. That is a very special place. I'm sure you'll get lots of inspiration at said place. Oh my God, good for you, Brad. I'm so happy to hear that. That just makes my heart just be huge. I'm so happy to hear that. You know how much I love that relative of mine. Okay. Renee says, Kelly, I just got a sign because the reading was the funny one with the Hawaiian grass skirt and coconut reference. I'm telling you that Hawaii, that's what I thought of when I thought of your husband. I said, Hawaii. He likes to let me know he's bringing around Oh, it's absolutely he does. Okay, Annette, if you keep seeing it 111, that for you then would be a significant number. 111s often will bring new beginnings. Okay. Jamie says, after my son's friend passed away, I saw Boo on a license on the road he died on. Okay. That's funny. It's not funny that he passed, but that he must have had a sense of humor. And by the way, if they had a sense of humor in life, they have a sense of humor on the other side. And that is amazing. After my mom died, and I'll leave you with this, I was on the 405 again, just around that 405, probably depressed out of my mind. And the car in front of me, the license plate was God, Godddd. And the frame said, Mom. I think I was so taken aback and so down, I couldn't get my phone out to take a picture of it. It said Godddd, and then the frame said Mom, MOM. I don't know how my mom pushed that car to get that there right in front of me on the 405. That in itself was a feat. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys. I have to go. Yeah, talking birds for sure. A robin. I could go on and on at Blinky Nights. Oh, I love this. Oh my gosh, you guys. I could just keep going on and on. But I've got to stop. Yeah, knocking on heaven's door. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys. I have to go. But okay, Gail, let me get you one card, Gail, for your grandchild. Ooh, 717. Bravery, brave soul. And he's autistic. Brave soul. Brave soul. I love that. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Join Shirley and me on Tuesday. I forget our subject. Oh, Carrie Gonia is going to be on. This is going to be a great class. Then tomorrow is Friday, and I have 5:00 somewhere. So if you're part of our group, Whispers of the Soul, please join us. It's a great group. That's where I'm going to be Friday, tomorrow at 5 p.m. And I think I have some sessions left in May, and I will be putting up my June calendar shortly. All right, everybody. Take care, my friends. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.